Yo, what's Skibidi, gamers? I'm Gihun, the Sigma Rizzler of this bussin' squid game on Skibidi.
First challenge, Skibidi toilet red light, green light.
Blood, we need to stick out our Gaiat for the Rizzler to win this.
Oh, imagine if Ninja got a low taper fade during this game.
Yo, who wants to oil up with some baby oil?
Shut the fuck up, Diddy!
What if your favorite movies weren't created 20 years ago by boomers, but were instead created 20 years into the future by Gen Alpha? Are the original ideas for these movies so strong that they would be pretty much impossible to ruin? Or would Gen Alpha somehow find a way to make them 100 times worse? And so today I'm using InVideo AI to recreate brain rot versions of these famous movies to see whether I can actually ruin them or whether they would still be entertaining to watch. Starting with Spider-Man. So the idea I have for this movie is that I'm basically going to change the way that Peter Parker turns into Spider-Man. So instead of getting bitten by a spider, he's going to get rizzed up by a tiny little spider who's then going to grow big and give Peter Parker a low taper fade haircut. And then after Peter gets his haircut, he's going to start turning into Spider-Man. So instead of a bite, it's a haircut. But then when he creates his own Spider-Man suit, he realizes that his Gaiat is so big that it doesn't really fit into it at first. And so he has to go to the store to make an adjustment to his suit. But then on the way to the store, he bumps into Green Goblin, who is robbing the store. And then Peter tries to help out. He tries to, turn into Spider-Man, try to fight him. But Green Goblin is way too experienced, and so he destroys him. And so Spider-Man then goes into a bit of a training arc, and he tries to learn a variety of different brain rot training techniques. And then 20 years later, he returns to the city to try to take on Green Goblin in a final brain rot battle that does not make any sense at all. So I purposely left a few things a little bit ambiguous. For example, the training arc, because I'm mainly interested in seeing what the AI will choose to generate for this one. Like, what brain rot techniques would the AI give Peter Parker? But let's just generate this video. Okay, the movie has finished generating, and based on the very first frame, I have no idea what to expect. Is this meant to be Spider-Man? This is a woman. But anyways, let's just see whether it's possible for AI to ruin this movie or whether I would still watch this in real life. Skibidi Zoo?
Yo, what's good, Skibidi fam? I'm Peter Parker, just your average Giat-having, Rizzless high school student from Ohio. I mean, New York. So there I was on this bussin' school trip to the zoo, trying to rizz up MJ when this Sigma spider decided to give me the old phantom tax. Next thing I know, I'm getting a low taper fade from this 8-legged barber. Talk about a devious lick. Suddenly, I'm climbing walls and my spidey senses are bussin'. Time to cook up a suit. But damn, my Gaiat was too thick. Had to make some adjustments, you feel me? On my way to cop some extra fabric, I bump into this sussy imposter called the Green Goblin. Man's robbing the store like it's Ohio. I tried to stop him, but he mogged me hard. Time to hit the mountains and start goon maxing my skills.
Okay, what just happened there? What? My brain is actually melting. What is going on here? So he starts at the Skibidi Zoo and he describes himself as a average Giat-having, Rizzless school student from Ohio. But then he says that he was trying to rizz up MJ initially, but then this random Sigma spider comes up and rizzes him instead. And he says the spider gives him the phantom tax, but that doesn't make any sense at all. And this is the spider giving Peter Parker a low taper fade. Is this a low taper fade? Does this look similar? No, not really. This is not a low taper fade. But then he says the low taper fade turns him into Spider-Man. He can sort of climb on walls now. He notices all his senses changing. But then when he's trying to make his suit, his damn Gaiat. What does he say?
Damn, my Gaiat was too thick.
Damn, my Gaiat was too thick. Okay, damn. And so he has to make some adjustments, but on the way, he actually runs into Green Goblin. This actually looks pretty accurate. This is actually Spider-Man. Maybe the previous ones weren't really so much Spider-Man, but you cannot deny it. This is Spider-Man. This is Green Goblin. Wait, that's actually pretty cool. But the only issue is that it's just brain rot. If you couldn't hear the audio, like, you would think that this is the real movie. But then Green Goblin mogs Spider-Man, and now he says it's time to hit the mountains to start goon maxing his skills. Okay, so this is going to be the training arc. Let's see what brain rot techniques Spider-Man learns in the mountains.
First up, mewing while hanging upside down. Gotta get that jawline on fleek. It's harder than it looks, folks. Next, practicing my gritty while web slinging. Gotta stay on that Sigma grind set. Whoa, not as easy as it seems. Finally perfecting my rizz by charming mountain goats. They don't call me the goat for nothing. 20 years of Skibidi training later, I'm back in the Big Apple, ready to get my rizz on. Watch out, New York. Spider-Man's leveled up.
Okay, what were those training techniques? Wait, how were those techniques going to be useful at all in battle? This whole training arc was meant for Spider-Man to be able to come back and defeat Green Goblin once and for all. But do you really think Spider-Man is going to be able to defeat Green Goblin after learning how to mew while hanging upside down, web slinging while hitting the gritty, and rizzing mountain goats? Because what are you meant to do? Like, so the Green Goblin throws a green bomb at you, and then what are you going to do? You're just going to start hanging upside down and start mewing him to try and mog him? Or maybe he's trying to make his jawline so sharp that it can sort of cut the Green Goblin, sort of like a knife or a sword. But then what is he meant to do with the gritty? Like, so he can gritty while web slinging. Yeah, that's great. So he's learned this technique after 20 years, but how is he meant to use this in battle? But then this one, rizzing mountain goats. How in the world is this going to help you defeat Green Goblin? So you have some mountain goats at your disposal now because you've rizzed them up. You spent 20 years rizzing up the mountain goats, but it's not like you're going to be going into the battle and then Green Goblin has an army of mountain goats and then you can just rizz them to turn against Green Goblin, because you can't even find mountain goats within like New York City. It's like an urban landscape. Or maybe what he's trying to do is he's trying to build his own army of goats. So he's going to bring the goats to New York City and then he's going to use them as sort of like minions. Anyways, 20 years of Skibidi training later, he's ready to return back to New York City to face off against Green Goblin. Let's see who wins this final battle, and let's see whether the training has finally paid off.
Race toward your goals with speed and endurance. PenFed offers high-yield accounts to help your money grow fast and low-interest loans to help it last.
Green Goblin's out here terrorizing the city with his Skibidi toilet antics. Time for the final showdown, blood. It's your boy Spidey versus the lean green meme machine. Let's see who's the real Rizzler now. We're swinging through the city, throwing hands and dropping the sickest brain rot burns.
What's wrong, Spider-Man? Too busy mewing to fight?
Nah, blood, I'm just letting you cook before I serve this L.
Yo, Spider-Man, want some baby oil for that suit?
Shut the fuck up, Diddy. Finally, I hit Goblin with the ultimate move, the gritty into a backflip web shooter combo. Game over, lil bro. Spidey's the ultimate Rizzler in this Skibidi city. A story.
What just happened? What? Wait, so many questions. Wait, first of all, where did Diddy come from? Why is he in my movie? I did not ask for him to be in my movie. So mid-battle between Spider-Man and Green Goblin, Diddy comes out of nowhere and offers Spider-Man some baby oil. Why would Spider-Man need baby oil for... Actually, you know what, to be fair, maybe he needs some baby oil because it's still like a little bit tight around the Guyat region because he had to make those adjustments since his Guyat wasn't really fitting into the suit to begin with. But even at the start of the battle, why is he holding an eggplant in his hand? Is this meant to be... What? Is he going to do like a bit of a ding-a-ling slap against the Green Goblin? And what happens here? Like, look at Spider-Man's head. His head does a 180. Is that normal? You know what? Maybe this is like the new training for Spider-Man. So maybe he learned in the mountains when he was doing his Skibidi training. Maybe he learned how to do this. But he says, let's see who the real Rizzler is now. So I guess this isn't even like a combat battle. It's a battle of like the Riz. Like, who is the better Rizzler? But then when they're swinging through the city, what is Spider-Man doing? He's not even swinging. He's just dabbing. For some reason, he's just dabbing. But then after Diddy just comes out of nowhere, we have the final finishing move by Spider-Man, which is the gritty into the backflip web shooter combo. And then game over. But anyways, that is quite the finishing move. I would rate it maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. I was expecting something a little bit more brain rot. But anyways, do I think that I managed to ruin the movie with AI? I think definitely. Like, the brain rot was just too much. I don't think I could even concentrate on this movie because my brain was too busy melting half the time. But would I watch this in real life? Honestly, I still think it is entertaining enough for me to watch. I think I would genuinely pay to watch this in real life. And so after ruining Spider-Man, it was now time to move on and attempt to ruin Star Wars. So the idea I have for this movie is that we have Luke Skywalker, who is a young Jedi who finds out that his dad is Darth Vader, but he still wants to try find his father so he can sort of like reunite with him because he hasn't really had a family. And so he sets out on an adventure with Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they travel across space with spaceships because they don't really know where exactly Darth Vader is located, and they search from planet to planet to try find him. But then each planet is going to be like a bit of like a brain rot sort of a planet, so it's going to have their own sort of like plot lines, its own problems and all that. But then after exploring a lot of different planets, they finally arrive at the Skibidi toilet planet, and then they find Darth Vader there. But instead of reuniting with his son Luke, Darth Vader attacks them, and then they have a final brain rot battle, and then that's going to be the end of the movie. But I purposely left a few bits a little bit ambiguous. For example, the planets they arrive at with the brain rot stuff, because I want to see what the AI generates for them. Like, what are they going to choose for the brain rot for each planet? But anyways, let's just create it. Okay, the movie has finished generating, and based on the very first frame, it looks pretty legit. Like, this could be a banger. Like, the Star Wars logo is the exact same font, exact same everything. But let's see whether it's possible for AI to ruin this movie, or whether I would still pay to watch this in real life.
Yo, Skibidi fam, I'm Luke Skywalker, the Rizzler of the galaxy, like, on Skibidi. My Sigma grind set is all about finding my dad, Darth Vader, even if he's bussin' evil.
Let him cook, young Skywalker. Your father's aura is strong with the Skibidi side of the Force.
Mewing we must be. To find Vader, our yacht, we must stick out, yes.
Okay, so it appears that that is the very first act. So that's a little bit of the prelogue for the rest of the movie before they go and search for the planets. So we start in a desert. Wait, so this is actually pretty accurate to like the Star Wars sort of thing, because like one of the areas is like a desert, isn't it? And then we have Luke Skywalker here, but he says he's the Rizzler of the galaxy on Skibidi. Okay, interesting. But this photo, this looks exactly like Luke Skywalker, but he's wearing aviator sunglasses and a cap for some reason. These didn't exist in the Star Wars universe. But he explains to us that his Sigma grind set is about finding his dad, Darth Vader, even if he knows that Darth Vader is evil. And then we have Obi-Wan Kenobi here, which this actually looks pretty accurate to the, he's wearing a chain. I was gonna say, this looks pretty accurate to the original movies, but he's wearing a chain and a cap. Okay. But then Obi-Wan explains to Luke how instead of, Darth Vader, he's strong with the Force, like one with the Force. He says his aura is strong with the Skibidi. But then here we get an introduction to Yoda, who is wearing aviator sunglasses for some reason. But this actually looks pretty accurate. This looks like, this is Yoda. And so I guess we get to see his home and we're gonna pick him up before we go to the planets. But he actually also speaks like Yoda. He says, mewing we must be. And then he says, to find Vader, our gyat we must stick out. But anyways, let's continue and see what planets they arrive at and whether it's brain rot or not. Planet Sussy. Okay.
What the Sigma? This planet's full of sussy imposters. Time to use my Jedi Riz.
Blood, these aliens are not bussing. We must gritty our way out of here.
Homeless these creatures are. Mock them we must for comedy, I crave.
Planet Riz.
Yo, is that Diddy? What's he doing here?
Y'all need some baby oil.
Shut the fuck up, Diddy.
Planet Guy. Wait, what?
On Skibidi, we've reached the Skibidi toilet planet. It's full of sussy baddies.
Okay, so I think that is the end of the second act. But why is Diddy also in this one? How did he make his way into this one? Anyways, we will address that later. Let's just start from the beginning of this act. So they go to Planet Sussy, and it's just a bunch of Among Us. Okay, so they arrive at an Among Us planet. But then look at this scene. This is actually Obi-Wan Kenobi, and these are the Among Us people. You guys probably won't take me seriously here, but what if I just screenshotted this and used this as my PC wallpaper? Is this not a hard image? This is a pretty good wallpaper, isn't it? Anyways, Obi-Wan says these aliens are not bussing. We must gritty our way out of here. And then Yoda, for some reason, makes a homeless person joke. For what? He says homeless these creatures are. Mock them for comedy's sake. We must. Why does Yoda not like homeless people? Is that a thing in Star Wars? Anyways, we arrive at the second planet, Planet Riz, and immediately Luke Skywalker spots a familiar face for some reason. He says, yo, is that Diddy over there? And Diddy is for some reason on Planet Riz trying to sell him baby oil. Where did he come from? Why? He's not in the original Star Wars. Was he part of like production or something? Was he an actor in it? Anyways, we arrive at the third planet, which is Planet Gaiat, and it looks pretty normal. I can't really spot any Gaiats. It just looks like a bunch of like bouncy trampoline stuff. Look at Yoda's face. Look at him. What is this? Wait, I just realized, are they hitting the gritty? They are literally hitting the gritty. This person is hitting the gritty on Planet Gaiat. Anyways, it appears that they have finally reached Planet Skibidi, and so they're going to face off against Darth Vader. Actually, they're going to meet Darth Vader first. So there's going to be like a father-son reunion, and then there's going to be a bit of a brain rot battle. So let's just see what happens.
Oof. Your toe looks like a diseased potato. That is your...
Luke, I am your father. Join me, and together we can rule this Skibidi galaxy.
What a dog doing? Time for a devious lick on your evil plans, lil bro.
Goon-maxing we are. Freddy Fazbear, unleash we must.
Use the Riz, Luke. Let your inner Sigma shine.
Time to get that Grimace Shake power up. Let's go, you sussy baka.
No cap, son. Your lack of phantom tax is disturbing.
Quandel Dingle, I summon. Help us, you will, in this Ohio situation.
Bing chilling, everyone. I'm about to hit the most fire gritty this side of Tatooine.
May the Skibidi be with you, young Skywalker. Now let's yeet this battle.
What just happened? I don't think I have any more brain cells left to just comprehend what just happened. So first we have the reveal that Darth Vader is his father. So he's like, Luke, I am your father type beat. But look at Yoda. Yoda just keeps getting more and more mutilated. But anyways, Darth Vader first offers Luke to join him so that they can sort of rule the galaxy together. But then Luke has no intention of joining him. So, okay, originally I would have thought that Luke would have wanted to just reunite with his father no matter what. But, okay, I guess this is a little bit of a curveball that the AI chose. But then for some reason, Yoda just starts hitting the gritty and conjuring up some random magical spell. He tells Luke to use your Riz and let your inner Sigma shine. And then who is this in the back just watching Yoda hit the gritty? Is this Obi-Wan Kenobi? He looks extremely concerned for his mental health. Wait, maybe this is all like schizophrenic type beat. Maybe Yoda is just imagining all of this in his head and he's just hitting the griddy and there's no one in front of him. But then Obi-Wan is just trying to sort of like supervise him, make sure he doesn't hurt himself because it's like it's all in his head. But then Luke and Darth Vader finally accept to fight each other, and then Darth Vader says Luke's lack of phantom tax is disturbing. So I think Luke isn't really ready to fight Darth Vader yet. And so Yoda has to step in and he does this magical spell to summon Quandale Dingle for some reason. And I guess this is meant to be Quandale Dingle. Okay, what is this? What is going on? Why can't Yoda just like fight him himself? Like pull out his lightsaber and just start fighting instead of having to summon Quandale Dingle, which I assume is his own clone. But then Luke Skywalker, so instead of saying, don't worry guys, he just says, Bing chilling. I'm about to hit the most fire griddy in Tatooine. Is that what he says? So I guess his griddy is his ultimate weapon. Not the lightsaber that he's currently holding in his hand, but his griddy. But then we have a little bit of a 1-second fight scene here. So we have, wait, is this Yoda? And this is Yoda as well. And then we have Darth Vader here who is holding, wait, he's holding 2 lightsabers at once. Wait, and then who is this? Is this another Darth Vader? But anyways, it's a pretty cool fight scene, but it's very, very brief. And we don't even get to see Luke Skywalker hit the griddy. So honestly, I would rate that finishing move a 3 out of 10. I don't like that finishing move. I would have expected a little bit more brain rot. But overall, do I think I managed to ruin this movie with AI? I think the premise was still there. I think the characters, everything was still there. Like we literally had Yoda, we had Obi-Wan, we had Luke, Darth Vader, all that. So I think the gist of it wasn't lost. The premise, it still wasn't lost. And so I would say that we didn't ruin Star Wars with this one. I think it's very hard to ruin Star Wars, the integrity of Star Wars. But would I want to watch this movie in real life? Honestly, I don't know how I feel about this. I just feel extremely concerned for Yoda and his like mental health. He's a little bit crazy, so maybe I would want to watch it. It's a little bit silly. And so I would say I would want to watch this in real life if it became a real movie. And so after failing to ruin Star Wars, it was now time to move on and attempt to ruin Harry Potter. So the idea I have for this movie is that it's basically going to be a complete brain rot remix of Harry Potter. So it's going to start from the very beginning. So we have Harry Potter meeting Ron and Hermione for the first time at Hogwarts. And then in their Hogwarts classes, instead of learning like proper magic stuff, they learn a bunch of like brain rot magic. And so this is going to cover like a variety of different classes. And then one day Voldemort comes into the school. He breaks in and starts doing a bunch of brain rot spells to trash the entire place. And then he disappears. So that's like a little bit of like a warning attack. But then now Hogwarts must prepare their defenses for another attack from Voldemort and his evil army of wizards, which are the Death Eaters. And so Harry Potter starts training the entirety of Hogwarts with a bunch of brain rot techniques. And then it's going to end in a final battle with Harry versus Voldemort. And it's going to be a bunch of brain rot. But I purposely left a few things a little bit ambiguous so that I can let the AI fill in the blanks. For example, I want to see what the AI chooses for what the brain rot classes are going to be. So I want the AI to choose what they're going to learn at Hogwarts. So let's just create the video. Okay, the movie has finished generating, and based on the very first frame, it looks pretty accurate. Like, this is Hogwarts, except for the fact that it says Skibidi Hogwarts, but let's just ignore that. It looks pretty accurate to the original. But let's just see whether it's possible for AI to ruin this movie, or whether I would still want to watch this in real life.
Yo, what's good, Skibidis? I'm Harry Potter, the Rizzler with the sussy scar on Skibidi.
Blood, I'm Ron Weasley, and my aura is bussin' like a grimace shake, no cap.
You sussy buckers. I'm Hermione Granger, and I'm about to muse some knowledge into your skibidi brains.
Welcome to Hogwarts, you little Rizzlers. Time to learn some Sigma magic. What the Sigma?
Yo, check it out. I just learned how to Wingardium Leviosa this glizzy fam.
That's nothing, lil bro. I can Axio a baddie from across the room, no cap.
You're both sus. I've already mastered the art of goon maxing my potion skills.
Okay, so I think that was Act 1, but why? Wait, who is this? Why are we just dabbing in the middle of... Okay, what is this? So Harry describes him as not the boy with the lightning scar, but the boy with the sussy scar. And then we get a look into Hogwarts. So there's a bunch of emojis here for some reason. What is this meant to be brain rot? But they look pretty accurate. Like, these are like the actual emojis. So we have the laughing, crying emoji, but instead of crying from the tears, it's crying out the mouth. And then we get our first look at Ron Weasley, who says that his aura is busting like a grimace shake. Okay, nice. And then I guess this is Hermione Granger. So this looks pretty accurate, honestly. And yeah, the hair is a lot. Why does she look like the Lion King right now? And then I guess this is the female teacher at the Hogwarts thing. I can't remember her name, but it looks pretty accurate. Wait, but what are these emojis behind her? Who is this person? Wait, this looks like... No, this can't be. Does anyone else think that this looks like a particular painter? Anyways, we get our first look at Harry Potter, and he looks pretty accurate. This is Harry Potter, and his first spell that he does is, what does he do? He learns how to Wingardium Leviosa a glizzy. Okay, nice. So he has a giant hot dog in his hands. Nice. But then Hermione flexes that she's already mastered the art of goon maxing potion skills. So I don't know whether she understands what goon maxing means, but we just won't question that. But anyways, I think it's now time to move on to the chaos at Hogwarts. So I think this is when Voldemort first comes and makes his first appearance. So let's just see what...
Turn up the heat with Culver's new jalapeno jack pub burger and chicken sandwich. This is single life, every other night of the year.
But tonight, it's the only night. I'm Owen.
Allie.
Single.
Happens here.
What's good, you sussy imposters? Time to get your gut handed to you?
Oh no, it's Voldemort. He's about to use the Avada Kedavra spell, but make it Ohio. Alright, Rizzlers. We gotta prepare for Voldemort's return. Let's practice our Expecto Patronum, but make it bussin'.
Yo, Potter, want some baby oil to slick up your wand?
Shut the fuck up, Diddy.
Okay, what is happening here? What? We will address this situation later. But first, let's start from the beginning. So we get our first look at Voldemort, and he looks pretty accurate. Like, this is pretty much Voldemort. There's really nothing to fault about this, except for the fact that he says, "What's good, sussy imposters?" And then Harry sort of tries to attack him with a wand, and he has, wait, why is the TikTok logo on his wand? Wait, so his spells, oh wait, I get it. So his spells are gonna be like TikTok brainrot spells. Okay, interesting. And then he tries to warn everyone, watch out for Voldemort. He's about to use his Avada Kedavra spell, but make it Ohio. What does that even mean? What? And then we gotta look into this room for some reason. Room of requirements. What is room of requirements? Is this Pepe the frog? And then everyone has the Hogwarts uniform with the TikTok logo embellished onto it. So I guess TikTok is a major sponsor of Hogwarts in this universe. And speaking of sponsors, this video is sponsored by InVideo. As you can see, InVideo's brand new V3 generation model allows you to create movies fully equipped with music, narration, and visuals that are ready to post by just typing a simple text prompt. And just like the movies I'm generating in this video, you can literally create anything you can imagine. And even if the movie doesn't come out the way you like, you have the option to edit your video by typing text prompts that allow you to do things such as changing the music and translating the narration to a different language. But the best thing is that you can even change the script or swap out any specific clips you don't like. And you can also clone your voice so that the videos can be narrated using your own voice. So if you want to try InVideo for free, you can click the link in the description. But then we have Diddy's random appearance into the scene for no reason. Like there's a whole bunch of money and everything. He appears in an explosion of money, and he has a bottle of flying baby oil with him, and he offers to sell Harry Potter some baby oil to slick up his wand. Wait, why would he need to slick up his wand? Where is he going to stick his wand up? But Harry is furious. He does not like Diddy at all, and I think that for good reason. Anyways, I think it's time for the final battle between Harry Potter and Voldemort. So let's see who wins this, and let's see how brainrot this can get.
You can't defeat me, Potter. I've been looksmaxing my dark arts, blood.
Oh yeah? Well, I've been mewing and griddying my way to victory, sussy Barker.
Ayo, Harry's about to go full Quandle Dingle on this man.
This is so bussin', I can't even. Voldemort's getting ratioed.
No, my aura is fading. This is worse than a devious lick gone wrong.
Wait. My internet is so bad. I need to see how this ends.
No, my aura is fading. This is worse than a devious lick gone wrong.
Get wrecked, Voldemort. That's what happens when you mess with a Sigma Wizard.
Bloody hell, that was more intense than Freddy Fazbear at 3 a.m.
We did it. Now let's go celebrate with some Bing chilling, you absolute giga-chads.
And that's how we saved Hogwarts on Skibidi. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you sussy buckers.
And I'm literally going to give you 5 seconds to smash that subscribe button. Otherwise, Diddy is going to knock on your door at 3 a.m. and scream, "I love Skibidi Toilet" 1,000 times until your dad opens the door and beats the shit out of him. So first of all, Voldemort tries to intimidate Harry by telling him that he's been looks-maxing his dark arts blood. But then Harry responds by saying that he will be mewing and grittying his way to victory. How does that make any sense? And even Ron and Hermione are a little bit scared for Voldemort right now because they say Harry is about to go full Quandale Dingle on him. So I think that means he's gonna go sicko mode. I think that's the equivalent. But then what is this first spell that Harry does? So he has a Skibidi Toilet in his hand in one hand, and then he has his wand in the other hand. So I guess he's channeling the power of Skibidi Toilets. But it looks like it's working on Voldemort because Voldemort starts getting sucked into some, what is this, like a tornado? And what are these? Are these chocolate chip cookies? Wait, these are literally chocolate chip cookies, I'm pretty sure. So Voldemort says that his aura gets faded, and then Harry tells him to get wrecked. And I guess that was enough to beat him. So that was literally the final battle. But do I think that I managed to ruin this movie with AI? I mean, everything sort of was still in theme. It still was like according to like the theme of Harry Potter. It was all magic and stuff. So I would say, honestly, my gut feeling is that I don't think we ruined this movie with AI. I think the idea is pretty strong for Harry Potter. But would I want to watch this movie in real life? I think maybe, yeah. Honestly, I think I would. I think it would be pretty funny seeing Harry Potter go Quandale Dingle at Voldemort and conjure the Skibidi Toilet spell. And so after failing to ruin Harry Potter, it was now time to move on and attempt to ruin Shrek. So the idea I have for this movie is that basically we have Shrek and Donkey living in their house outside the Shrek swamp when suddenly Lord Farquaad from Shrek 1, he breaks into Shrek's house and steals his Skibidi toilets. And so Shrek and Donkey set out on an adventure to try and retrieve the Skibidi toilet back from Lord Farquaad. So they arrive at Lord Farquaad's castle, and then there's a bunch of different obstacle courses and challenges they have to get past in order to reach Lord Farquaad himself. And then once they arrive, they do a massive brain rot battle against Lord Farquaad in order to try and get their toilet back home. So I'm purposely left a little bit of things ambiguous. For example, the obstacle courses and challenges they have to get through when they get to the Lord Farquaad castle, because I want to see what the AI does when they fill in the blanks to see what sort of brain rot obstacle courses they generate. But let's just create the video. Okay, the movie has finished generating, and based on the very first frame, it looks pretty decent. We have the DreamWorks logo with the crescent here. It looks pretty accurate, except for this Smurf. For some reason, we have a Smurf on the screen right now. So this could be potentially extremely brain rot. So my expectations are pretty low right now. But let's just see whether it's possible for AI to ruin this movie, or whether I would still want to watch this movie in real life.
Yo, what's Skibidi, lil bros? I'm Shrek, the Sigma Ogre with the bussin' aura on Skibidi.
Shrek, my Rizzler, let's go goonmaxing in this Ohio of a swamp.
What the Sigma? Donkey, you're yapping again. Let me mew in peace.
Greetings, sussy imposters. I'm here to yoink your Skibidi toilet.
Oi, blood! Put the fries in the bag and step away from my porcelain throne.
Oh no, what a dog doing? He's taking our Guyat damn toilet.
Okay, what was that? What? Wait. First of all, who is this Donkey? So first of all, we have the Smurf surfing on the DreamWorks animation logo. Secondly, we have a look at Shrek Swamp, and we have the Skibidi toilet. Wait, I don't think you can see it. We have the Skibidi toilet over there. Then we get our first look at Shrek, who looks pretty accurate. Like, this is actually, like, this looks like Shrek. But then I think we can hear Donkey saying something. So Donkey says to Shrek, let's go goonmaxing in this Ohio of a swamp. But then Shrek tells him that he's yapping and that he wants to mew in peace. Okay, what is going on? And then we get our first look at Lord Farquaad. Okay, so I think the AI doesn't really know what Lord Farquaad looks like. But anyways, he goes and yoinks the Skibidi toilet. But then for some reason, Shrek tells him to put the fries in the bag for no reason at all. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, there's no context for that. So he says, put the fries in the bag and step away from my Skibidi toilet. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense at all. And so I guess now it's time for Shrek and Donkey to go. What is wrong with his face? Anyways, I guess now it's time for them to go on their adventure to try and retrieve their Skibidi toilet back. So I think this next section is going to be the castle with a bunch of brain rot obstacles.
Time to get our grimace shake on and retrieve our devious lick.
Let's gritty our way to Farquaad's castle, Shrek.
First obstacle, the Bing Chilling Ice Cream Challenge.
Second challenge, the TikTok Riz Party.
Final obstacle, the Quandala Dingle Maze.